Hi, thank you so much for joining me for another book review. This one, as you can see, is going to be Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. The movie came out very recently and is probably still in theaters depending on when you're watching this. It's also available on demand. This book is about Libby Day. She was 7 years old when her family was murdered, her two sisters and her mom, and she testified as a very young child that her 15-year-old brother Ben is the person that's responsible for the murders. And so now we follow her as an adult. She's gotten to the place where she's basically running out of money, and she needs finances, basically to help her support herself. And she meets an unlikely character who is the president of a kill club, and this kill club is obsessed with notorious murders. And one of the families that they are obsessed with just so happened to be the Day murders. And the interesting thing about these murders is it's believed to be tied to satanic forces, and it's the whole idea that Satan worshipers were kind of prevalent and responsible. There was a lot of evidence in the house that would lead someone to believe that the murders were created maybe as a sacrifice, or that it had something to do with devil worshippers. And so this story follows Libby as she agrees to kind of unpack what happened to her family as kind of like a duty to the kill club, because the kill club is going to pay her to talk to some of the players that were involved possibly in the murder. And the thing that's interesting about this book is that you see Libby go through the emotions of remembering her mom, her family, how it was before everyone passed away or was brutally murdered, and it's told in different perspectives. So you get the voice of Libby, you get to know Ben, you get to know her mother, which is also another interesting point, and you see the progression of the day leading up to the murders. And the really interesting thing is that Ben has this whole nother life that no one knew about, and which also leads to a lot of the suspicion surrounding the murders, because you initially think he definitely had something to do with these murders because he's in prison. But the interesting thing is that you get an opportunity to see exactly what his part was in the situation that occurred that night in her house. And you also get to see how her family has been affected by these murders, because the story illuminates her aunt and her relationship with her aunt, which was her mom's sister. Libby even goes back and speaks to her dad and tries to figure some things out with him too. So I think that this book is really interesting, because you think you know who did it, but you're completely surprised at the end. You get different perspectives, and there's a progression that occurs throughout the book because the day is progressing. So you get to see how things unpack, and then you also get to see the things that Libby discovers as she's older, and as she goes back and talks to her brother and while he's in prison, and as she talks to the kill club and provides information for them, because they are hell-bent on convincing her that her brother is not responsible for these murders, and she is kind of hell-bent on the fact that he is, and she's kind of stubborn at first, but she finally agrees to go and talk to her brother and talk to her father, and what you find out is going to blow your mind. I really enjoyed this book. Check me out on Goodreads if you want more information on it. Highly recommend it. I have read Dark Places, Sharp Objects, and Gone Girl, and I've enjoyed every single one. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any other reads that are similar to this, kind of like a suspenseful thriller that you find interesting, that you think was written very well, please give me a recommendation, because I don't think she's come out with any more books, so I can't read anything else from her because she has nothing else to give. So yeah, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon.